Hi guys, hope everyone's doing well. Today I'm doing the Tannenberg review and I've spent around sort of 17-18 hours on the game, I think so. I've had a good feel of online and offline mods, so it should be a fair review. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Any comments, just leave them below and I'll answer them. Cheers for watching. So to keep this review simple, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the positives and the negatives of the game, and from there you can sort of infer if you like the game or dislike the game, then obviously buy it or don't buy it. So that's how it's going to work. So first of all, we'll look at the positives towards the game. The menu is really simple. Yeah, when you come onto the game, you've got an option to go on online or offline, and then through there you can go on your different game modes. You can have a look at your count and look at your statistics. You can also go into the options menu where you can change your controller settings and things like that. So the menus are really simple. The graphics, obviously, a really big thing for a lot of people. Now, this game isn't a AAA game, it's just a small studio, so the graphics aren't anything amazing, but they're nothing shit either. People say it's like PS2, and people who say that are full of shit, so don't worry about it. For £16, the graphics are pretty good for this game. It runs smoothly, so there's nothing, in terms of graphics, there's nothing to worry about. The squad mechanics in this game are also really good. It's sort of the way the game works. It sort of makes you want to talk to your teammates and work with your teammates, which a lot of games don't do these days. So you can do that using game chat or using the command wheel, which allows you to speak to your teammates and sort of take outposts together. And it's really satisfying when you can work with people you don't know to take on the enemy and stuff. So that's a really good aspect. Also, within the squad mechanics, each person in the squad has a role. So some people can put telephones down for the NCOs, and people can spawn the NCOs. So the squad mechanics in general work really well, and they're really fun to use. Another really good thing in this game is the maps. So the maps have a really good variety. You've got things like one day you might be playing the Polish map, for example, and it might be raining. Then the next time you play on it, it might be foggy. So they've got different weather varieties to make it more difficult. And on certain maps, it really affects you, and on certain maps, it doesn't affect you as much. So it's really important. It's a cool little aspect, and it's good for the immersion of the game as well. And the maps are quite unique on this game compared to Verdun, where I think a lot of them are fairly similar. With this game, it's really different. So, for example, the Polish map is like a town, it's like a small village, whilst the Ukrainian map's got hills and stuff. So the maps are really fun to play on. Just a quick thing I forgot to mention as well about the squads is that if you're into your history and stuff, the squad uniforms and the weapons that they use are really realistic and they really look good on the game. The guys who've made it and sort of done the research and the history stuff have done a really good job. And sometimes it's even difficult as well when you're playing the game because a lot of the uniforms on the enemy team look the same as your team, so it's quite difficult to distinguish who's who. And that's not a bad thing. Again, that adds to the immersion. It makes it more difficult, more of a a hardcore experience. Alright, so we've looked at the positives. You want to go on to the negatives now. Just like any game, this game has some negatives to it. And first of all, we'll look at the weapons. Now, the weapons on this game, although they look good, I don't like the way they handle or play. Now, I've played Verdun for like 3 or 4 years, so I'm used to the shooting mechanics on that game, and the shooting mechanics on that game are different to Tannenberg. Tannenberg has a lot more weapon sway on certain weapons, which makes them difficult to use. Some specialisation on certain classes are okay. So, for example, the Romanians don't seem to have too much weapon sway, but then if I play as the Cossacks, they have a horrible weapon sway, and you've got a really big disadvantage on this game when the weapon sway is too much. And on that issue, they've got a perk in this game which your NCO can call in and it stops the weapon sway. Now I really dislike that. I don't think it's fair, for one, and two, I think they shouldn't have perks because it's unrealistic. If their weapon sway is lower than other classes, I don't like that. I think everyone's weapon sway should be the same in the game, and that's just one thing I dislike. Now, this next issue is probably my largest negative in this game. It's the thing I dislike the most, and I'm just going to sort of go through like a scenario. You might have gone to an outpost by yourself, and there's a whole squad of enemies there, and you've killed like 4 guys. Then another squad member jumps in, you've killed 5 or 6 guys, and you've took an outpost by yourself. You've done really well. It's a bit of a challenge to do that, and you've done that. Now, with the spawning system in this game, someone can spawn in straight after you've wiped a squad out in a contested area. And I think spawning contested areas is a bit shit because that guy who's just took out a whole squad of enemies to try and take that outpost has done it for no reason because they're allowed to spawn really close back to it again. I think if you've died and someone's taken your outpost, you should spawn at a different outpost that's not contested. I don't think you should be allowed to spawn in a contested area. I just don't think it's fair, and I think it ruins the sort of the smoothness of the gameplay. I think like it becomes a bit more stop and start, which I don't like. And yeah, the contested. I mean, that's one thing that really needs to change in the game. And I think some guy a few weeks ago commented on the video saying it's it's going to change. Well, I'm not sure if it has yet, but at the minute, spawning contested areas is really shit. And finally, this next one isn't like a massive negative, but it's worth noting for some people because I know this affects some people. I get it. I asked a lot. Um, the player numbers on this game are enough for a full game at any time, whether you need to switch server to the US, to the EU, or wherever. There's enough players for you to get a full game. That being said, the numbers of people playing this game aren't too high at all compared to your AAA releases and stuff. For me, that's expected. But it's not really a negative at the minute. It's not like Verdun where sometimes you might struggle to find a game. You can always find a game on Tannenberg, so that's not to worry. So that pretty much is the review, and I'm going to add in a quick thing at the end here as well. This isn't a positive or a negative. This is like a personal choice here. But this game it's not an arcade shooter as such. It's more of a hardcore shoot. It's not anything. It's not like Battlefield where it's arcadey, and it's not like Call of Duty either. So if you're used to that and you're expecting that on this game, don't. This game's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more hardcore. It's one shot kill. And you just need to be expecting that when you get in this game, even though apparently the objectives in this game look like Battlefield, but I don't believe it plays like Battlefield, and hopefully it never will anyway from what I've seen. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy. Cheers for watching.